Grand Rising family, it's Shay Seeking, and this is Natural Mama's Bible Study, along with a lot of His Story Lied. Today, we're going to go ahead and take a look into this intelligence report, even though it seems like the people that were writing out this report are not that intelligent. So, you guys know that I'm always doing something, but in the middle of something, I get distracted by something, and I want to share something. So we're going to go ahead and look into this real quick. It is going to be a quick breeze through just because I do have so many things to get finished. But I did want to put this out there unless anyone else wants to take a deeper look in it. So let me see if we can even make this a little bit bigger. What does this do? It's kind of like a race against time and space lately. Because, yeah, we're not going to be able to do whatever that was. And why did I try to do that? Because now, okay, well, whatever. Okay, so yeah, it says, I don't know if this is 8542 or 5842. White attitudes toward Negroes. Says it's confidential. Let's see if we can kind of zoom in to see. This document contains information relating to the national defense of the United States with the meaning of the Espionage Act, something amended, U.S. Code 30, Section 31 and 32. Its transmission or communication in any such authorized person is prohibited by law. Okay, so I guess it's not anymore, maybe, but we're going to read it anyway. So this is the Office of War Information. Now, I wonder why the Office of War would have to be speaking of Negroes in this way. Is it because all this time we've been at war with them and we are just blind to the fact that this is going on because it's not publicized? Would this make you prisoners of war, or would this make you some type of slave? Or Slavic people, because we know that term is used for other slaves that don't necessarily look like us and don't necessarily have ancestors that told them that they came from the Americas and don't have any recollection of any African ancestry. The African ancestry didn't show up until your oppressors started to bring your children into their schools and teach them this. So let's look through here real quick, because I just have a feeling that we're just going to be looking at some ridiculousness here. So I think maybe this is pertaining to the same thing that we just read there. And it says, summary, white attitudes towards Negroes. Basic attitudes, whatnot, segregation, Negroes in the war effort, okay, willingness to wake concessions, I don't know. All right, so let's take a gander. White people are largely unaware of the fact that dissatisfaction is so widespread amongst the Negroes that large numbers of them have no heart for the war. 6 whites in 10 out of the national cross-section recently interviewed felt that Negroes were pretty well satisfied with the conditions. Almost as many felt that Negroes are now better off than they were before the war. Now, and again, why before the war? Is it before they... and this is the publication date is 1942, but again, what war and why? Why would we just be worried about the Negroes? You know what I'm saying? I just, I'm not sure. It didn't say after the Declaration of Independence that so-called freed people, but it really didn't. Anyhow, okay. More than half of those interviewed with an opinion on the question believe that Negroes have a good as good a chance as whites to get jobs in war plants. 3 out of 4 respondents in the South and 9 out of 10 in the rest of the country felt that Negroes should draw the same pay as white persons when he does the same work. 55% of the sample believed that a Negro makes as good as soldier as a white man. 49% felt that he makes as good as an airplane pilot. Respondents were about equally divided on the question of whether Negroes have as good a chance as whites to get ahead in the armed forces. Okay. So we don't take too long. I'm just picking a couple of them. On all of these issues pronounced, regional differences were evident. Southerners were more inclined than people in the rest of the country to feel that Negroes are being treated fairly or are the same as themselves to blame for any differentiation in the treatment accorded them. And they were less willing than people in the other regions to make concessions to Negroes. Okay. In all parts of the country, however, large numbers of people were unsympathetic to Negroes. Not only were they cold to their aspirations, many evidently felt that rights long since granted to Negroes should be revoked. For example, more than half of all respondents in the Northeast and West believe that there should be separate schools for whites and Negroes, and so on. Okay. Okay. So let's keep going. I note with satisfaction that the theme of the significant gathering reads victory is vital to minorities. Okay. This theme might, I don't know why I keep saying night. I keep thinking that it's saying night. Let's just make it a little bigger because it's hard for me to make these words out. Oh no, go back. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, might well be reversed and given to the nation as a slogan. Okay, so it's given to the nation as a slogan instead of, I guess, to a certain group of people. I'm not sure. For today, as never before in our history, minorities are vital to victory. Okay, but again, which minorities were we talking about? Okay, we are in a sense a nation of minorities by race, religion, color. Okay, so it must have been talking about the people by religion and color, maybe ancestry, and so on. Okay, each constituent group is a minority when viewed in relations to our total population, but it is the essence of our democracy that our very differences have welded us into a nation, as the democratic way of life within that nation can be defended successfully only with the help and the support of all groups within its borders. Okay, and this is by Franklin Roosevelt, I guess. Message to somebody. Advancements of colored people. Woo, woo. The amount of support Negroes gave the war efforts and their very desire to support it, which I doubt, okay, depends to, unless they were manipulated, okay, to a very large extent upon the attitudes of whites toward them. Negroes cannot put their shoulders to the wheel in the war efforts if they are not permitted to do so, and their morale is inevitably affected by the kind of treatment they experience. It is important, therefore, to see that, what extent white Americans share. So now they get to be white Americans. The view of their president. Okay, let's read that again. It is important, therefore, to see to what extent white Americans share the views of their president that the support of the nation's Negroes is vital to the war efforts. Now, you notice how I said white Americans share the view of their president. See, this further shows you who they are to nurture and who they are to subdue. Okay? And Genesis, we're going back there. So, to supplement its previous investigations of Negroes' morale, the Bureau of Intelligence and Survey. Okay, so anyway, so let's keep going. Okay, come on. Next. Okay, basic attitude. Perhaps the most surprising finding of the entire investigation was that the majority of white Americans are unaware that there is anything that might be called a Negro problem. Okay, so they're unaware about this so-called Negro problem. The illustration below shows the range of responses to the question, do you think most Negroes are pretty well satisfied with the things in this country, or do you think most of them are dissatisfied? Okay, here we go. Are Negroes generally satisfied with conditions? This one has a black face with some curly hair. You can just see the mouth or the teeth that says satisfied. They think that 59% of them think they are. 69%, I don't know if this is, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if this is the North and then the South, or, saying it like this, the different locations that they're talking about. Oh, okay, maybe it is. Okay, here's the thing right here. Opinions of white, North, East, and West. So, North, East, and West. Okay, so we're talking about maybe that dividing line with the whole thing with the Confederate and then the, I forget what other portion it was when the nation was pretty much divided in half, with the North and the South, okay, basically. So I'm guessing that, yeah, so maybe I can't see, this one may be lighter at the top, so I guess the top is the North and then the bottom is the South, okay. So the North thinks that 59%, the South 69, North 25, South 21. 16% of the North don't know, 10% of the South don't know. Previous investigations of Negro morale in Memphis and New York indicate that, in fact, Negroes are far from satisfied. Many of them have grievances. Some of them feel so badly about their present situation and so discouraged about the future that they do not think that they would be any worse off if Japan won the war. Okay, so I guess this is the Japanese war. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that one, but again, maybe this is when they took back their people. I don't know. Not sure. A few feel that they would be no worse off under German denomination. Again, I don't know. Views of Negroes in these two cities cannot be taken as indents, I don't know, indices, I don't know, of national sentiment. But studies in 4 other cities suggest that they are not unrepresentative. I don't know. So let's see. The beliefs of white opportunities open to Negroes. The beliefs whites have about Negroes tend to bolster one another. Some light is shed on the opinion that Negroes are relatively well satisfied with conditions by the response of white people to the question. See, that's what makes it not so intelligent. You see? But your property or dead by law, so it really wouldn't, matter, I'm guessing. Do you think Negroes are getting all the opportunities they deserve in this country? Because again, why wouldn't you go to those people? Why wouldn't you make it a fact to go to these people? Why wouldn't you be able to? I'm pretty sure you have very much well documentation on these people at the time. So this is the little weight thing. Are Negroes getting all the opportunities they deserve? The North, 53% says yes. 76 says of the South says yes. And then for no, 36 North, 18 South. 11 didn't know, 6%, so on. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. 84%. Okay. Extent the fact that viewpoint. Okay. Do Negroes have as good a chance as white people? Okay. I guess this is just going over what they found. Views on Negroes' abilities, the low opinion of Negroes, capabilities also probably contributes to the feeling that they are getting all the opportunities they deserve. As the chart on the following page shows, more than half of all white people in the South and more than a third of white people in the rest of the country feel that Negroes are primarily responsible for their inferior status. So again, somebody being an inferior race or people as opposed to an inferior status that was given to them by their oppressor, those two different things in our society. So again, in their society, this is the society of the oppressor. Let's see. Okay, let's see what else they have going on here. Why is this not doing it? Okay, so who is to blame for the fact that Negroes don't have the same chances? I guess the North says 34% of the North says it is whites, 17 of the South says that it is whites, and then 36% of the North said it's the Negro, and then 53% of the South said it's the Negro. 16% of the North said both, and 18% of the South said both. If Negroes, why are they to blame? Let's see. Lack of native ability. Lack of native ability. I don't know. And that's 4% and 8. Laziness, 17 and 28. Aggressiveness, 9 and 10. Manners and morals, 6 and 6. Other causes, 6 and 6. I don't know what the other causes would be, but okay. Of Negroes as workers, okay, if Negroes has some training, the same training as white person, do you think they can do a particular job just as well? 7 respondents in 10 in the North said yes, basically. But less than 40% of the Southerns interviewed shared that view. In every region, those who had worked with Negroes had more faith in their capabilities than those who did not. Okay. So there should be separate residential sections. 75% of the North that are educated. This is going to be difficult, so you guys are going to have to, it's going to take me a long time to go through that one. So I'll leave that one for you. Let's see. Negro war effects. Are Negroes better off since the war began? 55% of the North says yes. 40 of the South says yes. 30 of the North says same. 35 of the South says same. 2% of the North says worse off. And 16% of the South says worse off. The others don't know. Okay. What whites think Negroes want most now and what they are willing to grant them. Willing to grant them from what was originally yo shit. You see this? So I guess this is something disparity between whites, knowledge, and okay, staking. Oh, wait a minute. Other hand, better housing for Negroes fit in the noble, less oblige tradition. Taking care of Negroes, the permit of the excuse me, perpetuation of existing segregation. Okay. Finally, it is a way of improving the health of Negroes, and many whites have come to realize that the germs of communicable diseases do not obey Jim Crow laws, and that Negroes' health is a matter of close personal concern to them. So, again, you'll see what this chart is over here. This is just in case you want to go into this. Negroes in the war effort. Okay. Wait. Express the belief that Negroes have as good a chance as whites to get their jobs in war plants. Okay. See chart opposite page 13. Okay. I don't know. I guess they scratched that off, but nope. Let's just keep going. So anyhow, Negroes in the armed forces, so on and so forth. Okay. So I'll leave that to you guys so you can go ahead and take a look at it. See what you guys think. Again, thank you guys for stopping by, and I will definitely see you guys soon. Take care.